Welcome back to Cheddar's opening bell. It has been a busy first week on the stock market for hydrogen electric truck maker Nikola, despite not yet making any revenue. The stock was sent soaring on Friday, at one point reaching $88 a share. For more on the wild ride, we are joined by the founder and executive chairman of Nikola Motor Company, Trevor Milton. Really great to have you on, Trevor. Thank you so much for joining us. As of yesterday's close, your company now is the same market cap as Ford, 28.8 billion. You say you want your Badger pickup truck to one day dethrone the F-150. Do you think, though, the valuation is justified?
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, it's the market justifies the valuation, right? They're the ones that tell you what you're worth. It's hard to tell someone what a company's worth, but I do know that they're rewarding companies that are willing to completely change and transform the industry completely. I mean, look at Tesla. Tesla's valuation where it is today is incredible, and the market has rewarded them. They've lost money almost every quarter. They've made money a few quarters, but the market's rewarded them because they're really tired of everything that's going on with with the emissions, especially with the emission scandals and all that. So Nikola is the same thing. Kind of, if you look at the trucking industry, Nikola was really the pioneer of the electric semi truck, and I think that's why there's so much excitement about Nikola in the world. Is we're doing the same thing for the big semi world, the second highest polluter in the world, the semi truck, that Tesla did for the cars.
Nikola stock surging on news that the company is going to be allowing pre-orders for the Badger pickup truck. Where are you when it comes to developing a partnership to mass produce them?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite projects in the world, actually. So the Badger is this electric pickup truck, and it's really unlike any other pickup truck in the world because it's not just electric, but it also has a fuel cell that you can add to it. And inside this truck, you can run off either only battery or battery and fuel cell, and it allows you to really control the consumption of your energy in your truck. It allows you to use your truck as a city goer, which is where you would use your batteries if you're going to drive around the city, or if you're going to tow a trailer or go long distances, then you want the hydrogen because then you can go 600 or 700 miles. And so that's really, I mean, the pre-orders open June 29th, and I think it's going to be probably one of the most successful pickup truck launches in history.
Okay, pre-orders at the end of the month. When will these actually be on the road?
So it will really depend on a couple questions. We have a big OEM that we're working with right now. There's three OEMs that have been in the running for a joint venture with Nikola. We've made it very clear that we don't want to build this on our own. So we developed all the tech, we built the whole truck, and now what we want to do is partner with a big OEM. And these OEMs, we'll be announcing who that is probably in the next few months. And it'll really depend on their timeline, but we're looking at hopefully the end of 2021 or beginning of 2022 for full production on the Nikola Badger.
You mentioned Tesla a bit earlier. Tesla CEO Elon Musk sent a memo to his employees to ramp up semi-truck production. You sent out a tweet welcoming the competition, but there is questions right now about this. Do you think there is enough market share for both Nikola and Tesla to survive
Yeah, I
or
think there's
thrive?
enough market
Excuse
share
me.
for. Yeah, I think there's enough market share for five of us. To be honest with you, I was I sent out a really nice really nice tweet to him. Ultimately, it's a compliment that he went out and he sent this email out to his whole team and said we're full steam ahead on the semi truck right now. Let's go. And it's because of Nikola's popularity in the market, how excited everyone's been about Nikola, and Elon was quick to say, hey, you know what, we want to make sure we get on that that good publicity, and good for him because there's no better market in the world to be in than the electric semi truck market. It's the number two polluter in the world of emissions, and it's also, if you look at transportation, and it's also one of the most profitable segments in the world. So building cars is not very profitable. Building larger vehicles like big pickups or semi trucks is very profitable, and that's the idea behind Nikola only sticks to really these things that are on the more profitable side of things.
Okay, so on that note, it sounds like no plans to get into passenger vehicles, which is sort of Tesla's wheelhouse.
No, never. Listen, the smallest thing, we have a few off-road vehicles that we built, and that was mainly to change to try to get people to go to national parks with clean vehicles. It was more of a philosophy push than it was a full profitability. They will be profitable, but they're very low quantity. It's like electric watercraft and electric off-road vehicles, but that was only to get our competitors to actually step up and go zero emission. It had nothing to do with the whole profit, the massive profitability you would see on like the semi-truck program. So no, we're not getting into cars ever.
Where can Americans start to expect hydrogen stations to pop up around the country?
We have 700 of them planning to go up right now in America. Just last week, we announced a $30 million order for electrolyzers that'll be building the hydrogen. That's enough for 40,000 kilograms. So that's a lot of hydrogen, and that's only the first 5 stations. So we have, essentially 695 stations more to go. So over the next 3 years, you're going to see entire blocks of the country kind of going up, and over time, over a period of about 7 years, you get the hydrogen network. One thing I do want to say though, we've had a few people criticize us for saying, oh, there's no hydrogen network. It's going to take you 5 to 7 years to do this. And it's like, well, if you use that same excuse for what happened in the electric vehicle world, we'd never have electric vehicles today. Just because something's hard doesn't mean you don't do it. So who cares if it takes 5 to 7 years, to get a network completely built out? It's not that big of a deal.
Notorious short seller Andrew Left has taken aim at you. He says Nikola's stock price is going to plummet and that shareholders should have taken a hint when you sold your own shares at $10. How do you respond?
Yeah, I mean, so it's a valid question. The unfortunate part is he never reached out to us to ask us. He doesn't give a crap about anyone's families or retirements. All he cares about is shorting people and ruining lives. So here's the thing. If he would have called and asked me questions, I would have been happy to talk to him, and then I would have respected him. But I have no respect for someone that has no idea what they're talking about. Here's what it comes down to. When we raised the money with our what we call the reverse merger, the SPAC and the PIPE, this was months and months and months ago. And every investor, including Fidelity, PSAM, BlackRock, they all bought in shares at Nikola pre-merger, pre-IPO at about $10 a share. That was everybody. Everyone was treated equally. And they wanted me to diversify a little bit. They didn't want me to have so much control and power in the company. And that's justifiable. I mean, I owned pretty much the whole company, the board, everything. So they said, look, Trevor, we'll come in, we'll fund this. We think you're the innovator, the brilliant mind behind this. We want to have you in the company forever. We want the CEO to report to you. But there's 2 things we want. We want you to move away as the CEO and become the executive chairman, which is essentially stepping up. And we want the CEO to report to you, but we also want you to diversify a little bit because we want you to be locked up longer than other shareholders. We want you locked up for a year, 12 months, because you have more control over the stock than anybody. And at that time, that's what everyone was paying. So they wanted me to do that. They bought 7 million shares from me. So it was a $70 million. That was maybe I don't know what it is, 7, 8, 9% of the total money we brought in or something like that. I don't know the exact number, but ultimately that was what everyone paid back then. This was pre-IPO, pre-merger, pre-everything, and the same price everyone else said. So his bull with this really is sad because all he's trying to do is just go out there and cause families harm. I'm here for the long term. I'm here to build value for families, for retirements, and also try to change the world. And all he gives about is a few little dollars. That's it.
All right. Trevor Milton, founder and executive chairman of Nikola Motor Company. So great to have you on. Thank you for your honesty this morning. Appreciate it.